Hi, this is Rachel in Recovery. We've got a special guest with us, Violet Lee. She's going to tell us a little about herself, and then she's going to tell us a little bit about Tai Chi and the health benefits and the that she's researched and that she's experienced. All right, Violet, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Rachel, and everyone listening to this podcast. I'm very honored to be invited to talk about the health benefit of Tai Chi, especially for people with PTSD. And how did I get into Tai Chi? It was purely by accident. What does that mean? Is I'm Chinese, and I was born in China, but I live in the U.S. most of my life, and both my children were born in the U.S. and they were attending Chinese language school on Sundays. And normally I would take them to the school Sunday afternoon, and then sometimes I ran a little bit errand when they are in the classrooms. But, I really did not have much to do. And besides doing that, and one year, and the school hired someone to teach Tai Chi. And I was really intrigued by how the instructor was doing it. And some of you probably had the impression in the Tai Chi is really, really, really slow movement and only good for seniors. As a matter of fact, Tai Chi is very, very diverse, has so many different styles, and it's good for people of all ages and physical capabilities. And so the instructor, she was doing the oldest Tai Chi style, which is so-called Qian style Tai Chi. It's very rigorous and it's very intricate and very complex. And so right away I said, "Oh my God, this is looks so fun, and I want to try it." And the rest is history. And I've been playing Tai Chi or practicing Tai Chi for 21 years, and but that was just purely by accident how I stumbled upon Tai Chi.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Tai Chi.
I'm glad you asked that question. And Tai Chi Chuan is quite old, and people probably know Tai Chi Chuan is from China, and China has a very long history, right? And with all these just written history, is at least 5,000 years old. And sure, there are people, there are conflict, there are fighting. So Chinese people have developed a lot of the fighting skills. And about 400 years ago, and General Chen Wangting, and he was very good at the martial arts and also the warring strategy and so forth. And unfortunately, that time the emperor did not really appreciate him, so he retired back to his own village and at a younger age. And so he tried to develop a system which is good for the health as well as for defense, self-defense. So he, based on the Chinese philosophy of the Taoism and Confucianism, and then he selected a lot of great fighting techniques, and then he fused it with so-called Chinese meridian system. So Tai Chi Chuan was born that time, and for the purpose of health and as well as self-defense. So it is very unique. It is a martial art as well as healing art.
Fair enough. How has Tai Chi helped you over the years?
Well, first of all, it was fun to play with. So yeah, it just makes me happy. And I was a very weak and also sick child, and growing up, and in high school, I had an injury. So I had a real problem and with my lower back. So basically, I have the so-called osteoarthritis in my lower back, and it flare up twice a year. Yeah, and sometimes even more. And it was very painful every time it happened. And I remember there were days, I could not hold my child, and I could not drive myself to work, and was very, very bad. But after Tai Chi practice, and I'm free of that lower back problem, and also help me, to sleep better. And one thing people was very surprised to learn when I travel, say to Europe for work. I travel to Taiwan to see my friends and my mom. I don't have jet lag. And people just say, well, how come you don't have jet lag? Yes, throughout the years and traveling for work, and I have developed some kind of strategy how to deal with that. But then once I learned Tai Chi, it really helped me, and so I'm able to adjust my body and very easily, and so I did not have suffer from, like, say, insomnia during the nights, because it's nighttime in Taiwan, say, okay, or in Europe, but it's still early or even daytime in the US. But with Tai Chi practice, and I'm able to do that easily. And there are some other health benefit. However, I do want to point out to your listeners, and a lot of time people say, well, you're the Tai Chi masters, and so sure you have a lot of health benefit from it. You gain a lot of for your health. um, I always tell people, don't look at the individual, because we all are different. Our makeup, genetic makeups are different, right? So really, if we just base on one or two persons' experience, it not be scientific. Just put it out like that way. And we should look at what science have told us. And so um, I have been working with many scientists. And then when I say work with them, doesn't mean say I actually have done any research work, but I have interviewed them and talking to them and discuss with them about the Tai Chi health benefit, as well as some of the research they have done. And also I have read a few hundred of research papers. And you can find all those kind of information online yourself if you have any doubt. And the best resource is PubMed, PUBMED, I think .org. And that's the government website, which collect all the reputable research studies in that database. And then you can just type Tai Chi and Tai Chi arthritis, Tai Chi, and pulmonary diseases, Tai Chi and heart, or whatever you type in, Tai Chi and PTSD, and you will find out a lot of studies. And normally what I look for is not just whoever say he or she done the research, and some of the research, and they don't follow a very stringent standard. So, and normally I don't use that in my reporting, and I normally use the study which follows so-called the gold standard, and they do the blind test, and then to see the result. So yes, you will find out that there are huge health benefit practicing Tai Chi.
I think we kind of skipped ahead, but Was there anything else you'd like to add to the health benefits you've noticed as being a Tai Chi instructor or a researcher?
Oh, okay, good. And first of all, and let me just address a little bit about who I am, what I have done in this area. And you mentioned, and I'm a Tai Chi instructor. Yes, I have taught uh, people all over the world from age 6 up to 106. Yes, and I have taught all the age groups in between 6 and 106. And I mean, globally, I have taught over 10,000 people, but in person, I have taught a few thousand. Yeah, in person. So that's one part of things I have been doing, just teaching Tai Chi. And the other part is I'm a journalist, and I have written more than 700 articles and on the healing art. And that's why I was doing in the research work and talking to scientists. So now back to your question, Rachel, regarding the health benefit I have seen in my students. Just a few days ago, I received email message, and let's just call him Jay. Okay, Jay has taken private lessons with me, and he actually is like a bodybuilder, and he's very very strong, and he's over 6 foot tall, and with bulging muscle, and just like a muscle man, just so strong, and he can pick me up and throw me easily, and but he wanted to study, Tai Chi and Qigong with me, and I only work with him for two things. One is a very short form, and only has 8 movements, and the other one is meditation, and but it's a Tai Chi type of a meditation. And Jay, let's just say Jay had a lot of injury in his life, and so he had a lot of surgery. And because of surgery, and he was on painkillers, and those were opiates. And the reason he came to me is because he was sick and tired of taking those pills, and he knew those side effect. The problem was the opioids, and it's very dangerous. And so but he is a very good student. He practiced 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours every day. Then one day he sent me a message. He said, I am so grateful, and I've been off the painkillers for a while. First, he thought it was just, okay, once a while it might happen. But he was off for a while, and he really thanked me for it. And but I told him, I'm only a messenger. I'm sharing the art with him. And of course, he did the work. He practiced, like I say, at least 1 hour a day, and sometimes 2 hours. And that's one of the reasons, I like to teach, because I'm really helping people. And then this is true. And, it's not something, people make that up. And as far as other students and people thank me for not taking pills for arthritis or any chronic pains, and people thank me for they don't have to take insulin anymore for diabetes. And there are a lot of heart issues, and people say, "Oh, now I can sleep so well, sleep like a baby." And so again and again, I have heard all these things, and the feedback and that they've been helped. So that's why I quit my day job and then and teaching Tai Chi. And so, yeah, even though there's little financial incentive, however, I feel this is the most rewarding job I ever had.
Okay. You have written a lot of articles about Tai Chi. What are some of your favorite interviews?
Well, that's that's an excellent question, Rachel. Excuse me, my throat is tickling. I was interviewed in Dr. Chen Chen Wang, and she is a very prominent scientist, and she works for Tufts University, and her research paper was published in New England Journal of Medicine. So this is like the publication for scientific medical studies. And so you can Google her. You can go to New England Journal of Medicine and find, you know, her studies. And she's very, very good and highly respected. So I was talking to her, and then she said, Violet, you can never understand the problem I have. I said, well, actually, I wasn't really interviewing her at that time. We were just chatting. And I said, okay, what do you mean by that? She said, because Tai Chi is so good, now I'm having problem. Once I heard that, I'm just like, I'm totally lost. I don't know what you're talking about. She said, she's doing a study with veterans, the veterans from the Gulf War. And so because she always followed the so-called gold standard. And the gold standard is you randomly select people and who have the chronic disease, and then you assign them to different groups. So one group probably will be doing nothing, just like a lot of people they don't do anything with their health problem, and some people they will assign them to do some kind of aerobic exercise, and so different things, and then and at the same time, and they continue to take their meds. And then there's one group will be doing Tai Chi. And they will measure people's bios before the test and see how everybody, their body responds and so forth. And then normally the research process is in the midterm, and then they will do it again. And then at the end, they will do the test all the major bio indexes again. And then they also will ask the patient or the subjects to do self-reporting. But what happened was, and the group which practiced Tai Chi, right away they're feeling so good. They could be off meds and whatever, and but then the words got it wrong. And the other two groups, they heard people in the Tai Chi group actually is doing so well. And they say, we don't want to be in this group anymore. We want to join the Tai Chi group. And you cannot make that kind of switch during the experiment, right? So she'll say, this is now becoming my biggest headache, because how am I going to persuade people to say, okay, just stay in your current group until we get a study done, right? And so yeah, that was one of the stories, really, how should I say, and most memorable. And yeah, thanks for asking that question.
What are uh, ways to find a good Tai Chi instructor?
Well, you really, really know how to ask good questions. And there are many Tai Chi instructors now available. And unlike when I first started, and there were not too many, but like say in St. Louis area, and I used to live in St. Louis, Missouri, for almost 40 years, and now I live in Las Vegas. And I'm very familiar with St. Louis situation. There are at least uh, 40 or 50 Tai Chi instructors, but not all the Tai Chi instructor um, have the same training, the same background. And Tai Chi Chuan is not just a so-called physical movement. It's a so-called mind, body, and breathing exercise. And it is very, very important. We have to understand the fundamentals and how to do it properly and to gain a great health benefit. Yes, you may see some Tai Chi instructor. They are amazing. Looks like amazing. They can even fly. They can kick high. They can squat low. But that's not a good standard to judge if someone's Tai Chi Chuan is good. And a lot of people they say, well, no, there's YouTube. There's anyway, there are a lot of online resources people can look, and then they saw that they can learn that way. But that's a very dangerous way. And I highly recommend people to find a good instructor. But then how do you find a good instructor? Like I say, there are 40, 50, or even more instructor. How do you do it? And I would say in St. Louis, and most instructors, we don't do it for money. We do it because we're passionate about it. So maybe you can first ask, find an instructor close to where you live, and their schedule. And if it's suitable for you, then you ask, say, can you just take a free lesson to, like say, audit a class? Or if they say, well, because I don't own the studio, I cannot say just let you come in and do a lesson for free. But maybe you can ask, say, can I just watch it? Okay. And I think that's very important. And then you can see if the instructor really pay attention to students and so forth. And for people, if they are in some area, there are not any Tai Chi instructors, then there are so many online resources now available. When I say online resources, I don't mean say it's like YouTube, because that's one directional. You're just watching the video, and I don't mean say you buy a video tape. I recommend you take a lesson and online with someone, and especially if someone can provide you with feedback, can see how you do it. And a lot of time we think we're doing the right thing, but actually it is not. So it is very important to find a good instructor. Even though Tai Chi Chuan is my exercise, the chances of you getting sports injury by doing it wrong, it's not like yoga or some other exercise. However, I think time is the most valuable asset people have these days. So you really want to use your time wisely, and then you learn from someone with integrity. You learn from someone who has knowledge. Oh, another thing is to find out the instructors, their background, their lineage, who they study from, and then and so forth. And then also, there are so many different Tai Chi so-called styles and forms, and some may not be suitable for certain individuals. And So ask questions and ask how they teach. And I have worked with so many people, as I mentioned, 10,000 people around the world. And some people, they say, I can walk and I can stand. I have no problem of doing that. But I have certain health issue which does not allow me to stand for long. And guess what? Tai Chi Chuan can be practiced in a seated position also, or it can be a combination. So ask a question what the instructor can do and to accommodate the needs for people of all kind of capability and physical condition.
Okay. How long does it take to learn Tai Chi on average?
Okay, and well, this is a very interesting question. And so, what do I mean by that? There are so many Tai Chi Chuan styles, as I mentioned. The Qian style is the oldest, and then it's the most complicated one. It's probably the hardest to learn. But there are also some more simplified Tai Chi Chuan and easy to learn. Like I was talking about Jay, my student, and it was a very simple um, form. It's only a movement. And of course, he was taking private lessons. And I was able to do a lot of, coaching and one-on-one adjustment for him. So it only take him like a month. And then right away, he has great results. However, is he's practicing himself, and he has his own fitness company. So he's very very good of learning movements and so forth. So he's a special case. But I would say normally, if you want to do it just for the health purpose, and it can be just a month to 3 months, and then you learn something and to be beneficial, but you have to practice. But some people, like myself, even though I have learned the art for 21 years, and people in the global Tai Chi area industry address me as a master, I am still learning. So, how long it takes to learn Tai Chi, and it is a lifelong journey for me for sure. And you may find out the same with many other um, um, instructors, and because Tai Chi Chuan is like peeling the onion. It has a lot of layer. Once you go through one layer, and there are always more and more and more. It's extremely, extremely profound. So it depends on individual's goal. If your goal is just for the health purpose, and then you're very self-disciplined, and then you can just practice on your own. You don't need to take lessons for long. And 1 to 3 months, that's sufficient. But some people, they say they need the environment. They wanted to go to the class, and there's a teacher there, and they kind of remind them. Yes, then you can just do it at once a week, and then just keep going. That's fine too. And then, like I say, there are a lot of form and style. It's really fun to play with, and then it's also very spiritual. It's a spiritual, but not religious. Okay, people with all religious backgrounds, they practice Tai Chi, and some people, they want a so-called a spiritual pursuit. They can just keep going and keep learning. So I hope I answer your question.
Okay.
It's a very long answer.
I guess the next question was, how long does it take to see some of these health benefits to take effect, and uh, how often do you need to do Tai Chi for it to be beneficial?
Excellent question. And I mentioned Jay. Jay is a special case. And so let me just tell you the general things. And for example, the scientific studies, uh, they have done the clinical study, and normally they train people like 3 or 4 times a week, and each time is about 30 minutes to an hour, and a lot of it just 45 minutes. And after they do the research, and or training for 6 months, they see amazing results. So you don't need to say, how should I say, do like a J, you do it every day. But if you just do it like 3 times a week, each time, and 30 to 40 minutes, you get great results, and it can help you. Of course, it's like taking medicine. If you don't take medicine, then it just gradually wears off. So if you want to sustain the health benefit, you have to keep working on it, and but not say, a day every day, and they just 3 times a week in 30 minutes. That will be sufficient.
Okay. Um, what are some of your favorite things about Tai Chi?
Um, I'm not exactly sure I fully understand the question. You say the favorite things.
Yeah.
Um, well, first of all, as a practitioner myself, and I like it because it is extremely soothing, and it relaxes my body and relax my mind. And I like movement, but I am really, really bad at dancing because I I have no rhythm. And I was certified before as a aerobic instructor, and I can do all those things very well. I taught kickboxing, and before I do Tai Chi Chuan. However, I did not really go really teaching aerobic, because aerobic lessons you need to play the music right, and you need to know how to count the beats. I cannot count beats, and the Tai Chi Chuan, it allows me to just you know uh, flow based on my own mood and how I feel, and so people like me who appreciate the movement, and but then have no rhythm, and I can do Tai Chi. And I can do Tai Chi as a very smooth and soothing way. And some people say, "Oh, it's like dancing." That's actually kind of insult comment for people, nuts about Tai Chi. But yes, some people say, "Oh, it's like dancing." But the Tai Chi Chuan is also martial art. Some of the form I do, people say, "Oh my God," I could kick, and I can punch, and I can jump, and I just, they never thought that's Tai Chi also. So there's so many different ways to play with it. And besides the so-called the bell hand forms, and there are so-called weapon forms. We carry a straight sword, which is a very exquisite form of Tai Chi. And there are so-called a dao, which is a broad sword. And the one of the form I perform is the style. It's only 46 seconds. You're done with it. But it's high octane things. Like I said, there's a lot of jumping, chopping, and whatever. And then it's very no nonsense. Then you're done in 46 seconds. But it was fun to play with it. Yeah. I hope I answered your question, Rachel.
Okay. One last one. What was your experience going to China and studying Tai Chi?
Well, and yes, I first learned about Tai Chi while I was in St. Louis. Then I found this grandmaster who is ranked the #1 in the world. I was very, very fortunate. I'm just not going to detail how I got to know him. And I went to his home in how should I say, LA. I took a private lesson with him for years. But he actually, the home in LA is his second or third home. His main school, his major school is back in China. So back 6 or 7 years ago, I went back to China and then went to his school to study. And I found in general the attitude of the people in China learning Tai Chi is different than in the US. And they do a lot of foundation work. And here in the US, and we want to do everything quick, right? We want a quick result, and then we want instant gratification. And so people, maybe because people are so busy, and we don't have that much time, so we don't really want to spend a lot of time and effort to do the foundation stuff, the basic drill. So that's a big difference still as far as Tai Chi Chuan goes. And I went back so many times. I went to the birthplace, which is called the Qian Village in Henan Province. And the Henan Province is in some ways like similar to Missouri, is in the middle of the country. And I've been there several times and just immerse myself in that culture and then in that environment. It's just amazing. That's all I can say.
Is there anything else you would like to add that I haven't asked?
Well, and you certainly have done your homework. You got a good questions for me. And all I want to say, I'm really passionate about the art. And if any of your listeners have questions about the art, and you can email me, and it's very easy to find me. And my website is Violet Lee, just my name, Violet. Last name is Li, just one word, violetlee.com. And you can find me there, or you can just email me, Violet Lee, and I'm sorry, just Violet, no Lee, just Violet at TADI.com. T like Tom, A like Apple, D like David, I like ice cream.com. So Violet at TADI.com.
All right. Thanks, Violet, for coming on the show. And thanks, guys, for listening. Always tune in Thursday at 10 a.m. On your favorite podcast. Follow us on your favorite social media network. And as always, if you have any questions, go to rachelinrecovery.com. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much.